I will be talking on how anterior-segment imaging is helpful in evaluating the post-antiglaucoma surgery patients. The trabeculectomy is still the most effective filtering surgery, even though more and more surgical options are arising these days. And the long-term data show the efficient control of intraocular pressure up to 67% of initial successful trabeculectomy after 15 years. This study has shown that. Now, this graph is showing us that the failure of the trabeculectomy is seen as a steep fall in the early area. Up to 20 months, you can see the steep fall in the success rate, and later on, it becomes almost a straight line. So we have to identify which are those cases which are possibly going to fail in the early postoperative period. And various classifications are available to know the black morphology, which is an important indicator for the black functionality. First is the Murfield classification, then the Indiana classification, which includes the Seidel test also, along with the bleb height, extent, vascularity. And then the another one which has been introduced in 2017 is Mabeck's classification, which also includes the transparency of the bleb with the height and vascularity of the structure. And it also has the comparison. If we compare all three, then the Mabeck's classification will give you not only the bleb transparency, but also the microcyst evaluation and the conjunctival mobility in the area of the bleb. But all these may not be possible in all the patients. You cannot predict who will fail and who will be successful. So with the help of imaging, in vivo evaluation of post-trabeculectomy bleb is possible. Being a non-contact technique, you can use anterior segment OCT even in the early area or first week of the surgery, where UBM you may not like to use. So it will give you microscopic cross-sectional view. It is shown here, and multiple data can be seen on this. It can show you the subconjunctival fluid spaces, separations, bleb wall. Its morphology will tell you about the functionality. Suprascleral space, then root beneath, which is patent or not, sclerostomy, and iridectomy. So I will be talking on this in my further lecture. Various studies are there in the literature, and we have also published our study, which suggests that anterior segment OCT is a promising tool. And with the help of that, you can assess the filtering bleb functionality in the early postoperative period. It demonstrates the feature of bleb morphology which are not visible with the slit lamp, and thereby help in evaluating these functions. The ideal bleb is shown on the left-hand side, and it is vascularity should be similar to the surrounding conjunctiva. Numerous microcysts could be there. Diffuse bleb more on the posterior side with the moderate elevation. But if you see carefully here, the ASOCT has given you a better evaluation. Similarly, the slit lamp finding is showing you here the elevated bleb, but the ASOCT has given you other morphological features, what is happening underneath. Now, this is a good looking bleb, may not be always a good functioning bleb. As it is shown here, this bleb has aqueous cavity here, but the wall is very thick, homogeneous, which is suggestive of failure or the fibroblastic activity. Now we know that the cause of bleb failure is vascularization and fibroplasia underneath the subconjunctival space or in the episcleral space. Another cause could be the obstruction of internal ostium by iris or ciliary process or fibrin tissue. This can be identified by using the gonioscopy. So can we predict the bleb failure early? Can we recognize it early? Can we prevent it, or can we manage it in a better fashion? So the most important step in the management of the failing bleb is to recognize its presence. And the study we undertook with the aim to correlate these morphological features of bleb of anterior segment OCT at 1 month with the bleb function or surgical success at 6 months. 2 sections are taken from the highest bleb elevation, radial as well as the tangential sections were taken. And the bleb wall was divided into the uniform reflectivity and multiform reflectivity. Again, multiform bleb wall reflectivity is divided into multiple internal layers as shown here, subconjunctival separation. These two all are suboptimal as far as the success is concerned, but the multiple microcyst as shown here is ideal bleb and always guarantee the success. Now, root beneath the scleral flap doesn't make any significant difference as far as the failure and success is concerned. So these are our results. And as I said, the microcyst with the subconjunctival separation in early phase shows the 100% success rate at the end of 6 months. So you can predict at 1 month the long-term success. The bleb wall with multiform reflectivity shows the highest chance of the success. Another study, Japanese study, has shown the results, and they have predicted that the width of filtration's opening can also be affecting the success rate. Again, remember that 2 eyes bleb may have behaved differently as shown in this patient. And this is a case where you have seen that there is a flat bleb. So are we going to do something for this? And the IOP is showing the rising titer. So the releasable suture before removal, you can see the homogeneous bleb wall here, hardly any aqueous pockets. Immediately after the releasing the suture, you can see the subconjunctival separation as well as the microcystic areas. And that makes the patient successful for long term. So these are some of the dreaded complications of mitomycin use. And these are the patients where we need a safer option. So nowadays, a lot of people are, and I am also using Ologen bleb. So what happens to that Ologen bleb? So to study that natural bleb history, we also did a study. Ologen implant usually biodegrade in 90 to 180 days or more, and leaving in its space a fibrous sponge, the negative copy of the original one. So this is how it has been on the early post-operative period. There is a homogeneous area of this bleb. The Ologen is seen here, and later on, after the 6 months, you can see the shrinkage of the bleb as well as the Ologen implant. So this is how on day 1, there is anoic area, aqueous area here, but homogeneous area of the implant is seen here without any aqueous cavity or subconjunctival separation like MMC bleb. This is after 1 week. After 3 months, you can see the aqueous pockets are coming up in this area. Suprascleral space has now aqueous into that anoic space. Here also small cavities are coming up. So at the end of 6 months, a big area of the aqueous pockets are seen, shrinkage of the Ologen in this area, and small areas of aqueous pockets in the peripheral part of the bleb. So these blebs are thick blebs, but safer blebs. You can also see the success of the express CFD. Here you can see how it is being placed away from the irises. And Tenon cyst, you can see nicely, even on the slit lamp, you can see it. But this is to show you that after the needling, you can see the flattening of the cyst. And after the 6 months, small, large aqueous cavity, but less in elevated bleb. So implication, ASOCT can identify the internal structure of the bleb, thereby providing better understanding of the bleb morphology, and you can manage your patients accordingly. It is a non-contact technique, can be a good adjunct to the clinical classification in assessing the functionality or the functional outcome of the bleb. And scope of the early intervention in the blebs with a poor function outcome. You can enhance the steroid dose, 5-FU injection with needling can be done, and you can release your suture if you have any. Thank you very much.